Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast, boys.
Thank you.
World Plumbing Day.
Yes,
Yes, it is.
All right, we've got Jackson O'Donnell here in the middle, and then we've got Mick Power on the left here. My left, I don't know if it's probably going to be the right of camera, I think, isn't it?
It'll be there, right?
You might have to go backwards.
It'll be
in
all
this.
right.
Edit.
So I'd like to start off with Mick, man, if you want to tell us a little bit about how you got into plumbing, seeing as it's World Plumbing Day. No better time to talk about it.
A few years ago.
It wasn't many years ago. I reckon
Because you got a bit of a story.
Yeah, a little
Not
bit.
the usual story.
Not usual. I reckon I was 16 when I started. I was labouring for a plumber, and at that time there was not much work, so he can take me on, and he didn't. It just sort of kept me labouring for a year, and then I couldn't get an apprenticeship. There's like a recession going on, so.
What year are you talking? What year is this?
I was 19 years ago.
Can anyone do the maths on that?
No, I'm a plumber.
What's that, roughly 2004?
Yeah.
Ish?
Yeah, so it's probably actually after that, I think.
The details aren't that important.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I was young, and but yeah, he couldn't keep me on for 4 years guaranteed, so he didn't bother, and that was fine with me. So I moved on, and I joined the army instead, and then did my time in the army, and then got out, and then did my apprenticeship at an older, mature age, I suppose, and yeah. And then.
So what year did you leave the army? I mean, how old were you?
When I left the army, I would have been maybe 23, 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been an experience.
Yeah, it was something. It was different. Plumbing's a bit.
Sort of life skills do you reckon that brings over to, life? Not necessarily just moving away from plumbing for a tick.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of teamwork and a bit of. How does that relate?
I mean, not even related to plumbing. I just think it must.
Yeah.
You must build some serious life skills in that you wouldn't do if you weren't in the army. Like, you must be pretty appreciative for, being in some of those war-torn countries and shit.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think you definitely take that away from it. Yeah. Probably when I was younger more so now. I'm just sort of used to it now, but yeah.
Yep.
Back in the younger days, when you come back to Australia, you think how good Australia really is, and it's always nice to go home.
Yep. Anyway, and then you did like an adult apprenticeship in the end.
Yeah, I was definitely adult apprenticeship, so which was good because you get paid a bit more money compared to I was on double the rate of the other young lads that were probably on $6-7 an hour, and I was on 18, I think. So
Yep.
It was a bit nicer. I could actually afford my bills and pay them, which was good.
Yeah,
otherwise, you just couldn't get in. There's no way anyone could afford it.
Yeah.
Where'd you start doing that?
So
you're there for your
Yeah, I did my
4
whole
years.
apprenticeship and the.
Mike, you got to talk into it.
It's like, I can hear it. Can you not hear me?
We can hear it. Just. So I did my apprenticeship. I've continued on with them, and then I wanted to do domestic after that, and maintenance. And that was construction, so I'd done that. I wanted to do something different, and then I went to did maintenance and bit of small calls and a little bit of construction as well. But I wanted to stay away from that and learn something new, which is what I did. And then here we are now doing insurance plumbing.
Any notable projects you worked on in the construction?
Probably favourite one was Adelaide Oval. So I got to see that gutted and no grass, nothing. It was awesome to see it get rebuilt and a lot nicer, and got to watch the ashes while we were working. And that was cool. And every time I go there, it's nice to. Yeah. I've been in all the bars.
Pissing in a toilet. That
I've installed.
He's that sort of guy. I did that.
I am not.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am.
And you, Jacko, tell us about your story.
Were
you straight out of school?
No, I went to finish school in 2014. Went and did teaching at uni, Flinders, 2 years. It was more just to kill time. It wasn't really what I wanted to do.
As you do, yeah.
Didn't get the score I needed out of school, whatever that means. Studying wasn't a big part of me at the time. It was all about sport and soccer and trying to go down that path. Didn't happen. Sort of got to a point where it was thinking about future. Knowing that wasn't going to be my career path, sort of
Still got a decent little career going, though.
It's okay, yeah. It does all right.
he underdoes himself a bit, I reckon, doesn't he?
He doesn't play for Manchester yet, do you?
Yeah, that'll never happen.
It's all right. Walks around like he's Mark Bosnich.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
That shows your age. That shows your age.
Who would be the most current bloke to say that? That would be like, that was a relative joke then.
What do you mean?
Who's the current keeper that you'd make a joke about that if Bosnich is too old? Who's currently keeping for the Socceroos or whatever?
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan, yes.
Yeah, you'll all know who that is.
Good name though.
Carry on.
Yeah, no, it's and I sort of thought more hands-on. School wasn't it for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Teachers didn't listen to you, did they?
No, exactly. Yeah, they didn't listen to how I wanted to be taught.
Your learning curve.
What are we doing? So yeah, just went and had a little think about what trades sort of have the most progression.
Yeah.
What's always going to be needed.
Yep.
And it was plumbing. There's always going to be need for plumbing. So.
Were you like a full tech studies dude in school, or woodworky type?
Yeah. So I did woodwork, metalwork, pretty much anything in the tech room.
Yeah.
I actually did 6 months as a cabinet maker.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So.
What, apprenticeship or?
No, it was pretty well work experience.
Yeah.
Should have been an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did that for 6 months. It got pretty repetitive, just cutting wood all day, pretty much. So
yeah.
Got out of that, started apprenticeship through TAPS. That full 4 years at. Met Luke. He obviously left. And what am I now? I'm 2 years out. Yeah, 2 years out. So
2 years out now.
Tradesman.
I'd like to. We have done another podcast on this, but you guys weren't there. But I reckon a fun thing to always talk about is like most satisfying thing in plumbing. I'll go first, and I'll say either like a fresh reseat, or when you get like a brand new reseating tool and it's sharp. That's really.
I got one.
You got one?
I got one.
Oh, go on.
Yeah. So when you're like more construction because you're doing it repetitively, but you got your blue glue pot.
Yeah.
And then every time you spill it, you wipe it, and it gets
Peeling
peeling
that
off.
off.
I think is one of the most satisfying.
Yeah, that is actually like a good couple of weeks.
And it's nice and clean again. Yeah.
There's nothing better than the sound of unblocking a drain, though.
Oh, and when it releases.
Oh,
and then you look down and you're.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still going. You're like, there we go.
Yeah, that's up there. I reckon another one is a fresh spade bit. You know when you're just like, you don't even realise how blunt your spade bit is, and then you get a new one and you just like...
It just chews through everything.
Wow, this is amazing.
Mine are like dong, 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 dong.
That's
just burning.
Yeah.
That's always a favourite. Anything else?
Yeah, I reckon there's plenty.
Oh, jeez. Take
There's
notes.
lots, it's hard to think on the spot, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
My brain's going to roofing. I don't know why.
Yeah, go on.
Like, I don't know. Not so much me, because I'm useless on the snips, but watching the lads just cut like scribe.
Watching someone good on the snips is
it's
bloody...
nothing better.
And that's probably goes to another one is a fresh set of snips. Anything fresh is good. You know what I mean?
Fresh cuts.
You know when you got like the fresh snips and you're like, fuck, my snips are... I shouldn't have said that probably. My snips
It's
are
the second time you swore, by the way. So.
Is it?
It is.
You can cut that out too. Watch your frothy.
Sharp snips, man.
Yeah,
that's the best.
Snips.
Yeah, even saws. Oh, yeah, here's a good one. When you're peeling out, like I did it today, and you cut and peel out a pipe.
Yeah,
that's always.
What about when it splits?
Yeah, when it
how good
doesn't
is that?
split
In the slab?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get it like, how do you do it?
What's your
like?
Yeah, like I cut an angle until I can see like the pipe and it doesn't touch the socket, and then I use just a tip and just go back and cut it from there. That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it?
You just see the tip.
Keep it G.
Then I get the smallest flat head and bang that in, and once it pops up, then you get your mouldies and peel it.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. When you get like the mouldies or the pointy nose, and you just go like that, and it just cracks, and
Well, I didn't even stormwater today, so I just had the flat head all the way around, and
that is satisfying.
2 in a row, no broken. It was awesome.
Yeah,
good feeling.
That is satisfying. What about and you got any like nightmare client stories or?
Yeah, one. It's a bit fresh though, so we won't talk about it.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, you got any? nightmare client stories? Anonymous. You can talk just anonymously.
Yeah. Not just it. You got one? You got one?
No, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
What about like pet hates? I'm going to start off with the most obvious. It's like the customer who wants to look over your shoulder. I
literally just had one.
Did you?
And he probably won't mind me speaking. He was a legend.
Yeah.
Like, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Like,
Loved
just
it.
frothing it.
What? And you loved it?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. You know, because he wasn't a know-it-all.
Okay.
He knew that he didn't know anything about.
Yeah. So he was
anything to do with
playing
plumbing.
I'm just looking so I can see how you do it type.
Yeah, he's just
And you enjoyed it.
interested. Like we had a conversation. Maybe it was this type of work I was there. It wasn't intense. It was straightforward, just trying to find a leak on a stack. So I didn't mind. He was just watching the camera go up the wall, and because he was just as curious as what I was on where the leak's coming from. It wasn't that he was trying to make sure I was doing the right thing, anything like that. It was pure curiosity, and we just had conversation about other stuff while I'm finding this leak, and I didn't mind it.
I think it would. I'm hearing you.
Depends on the type of work.
Depends on
I
the
think.
mood you're in, I reckon.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Monday morning, first
Oh,
thing, when the customer's there waving at you at the...
Yeah, I hate that. You know, I'll call you back, mate. The customer's
Actually, you know
waving me in.
You just having combos about the weekend.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah, are you talking about like when you roll up and you're on the phone?
Yeah.
And then they're just looking at you like this, and you're like,
they're waiting.
I've got to go.
Yeah.
That's a good
I love
one.
that. I've had the one looking over my shoulder, and he was that close that when I turned around, I didn't realise he was behind me. My nose touched his nose, and I was just like, unbelievable.
smell his breath.
Yeah, and then I was
Then
like,
what happened from that point?
Well, from that point, I said, "Look, you're getting too close. It's
I
becoming
can't
a
see
safety
you
issue."
saying it in that way.
Oh no, he was I was pretty patient, I think, and then I got on the roof and left Chris with it, and he had to do with him. I kept looking down and laughing at him. But, I headbutt him too, like because I was getting up. I literally turned around to get up, and boom! I was just like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, when they're on the ladder's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, when they're like fully up the ladder, and you're like, I'm not really comfortable with you being up on that ladder, mate.
What about you? Got one where he fell through the ceiling?
Should I tell that story?
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, so where do I start this story, man? I got to go. I got to rewind it all the way back.
Yeah.
Because that's important. So I was all right. What's the first story? Oh, the first story is all right. So I did a job at this house. It was just gas piping up a gas heater. All right, it was like Oakton or Northgate, and I never really hurt myself at work. And anyway, on this job, I was drilling. You know when you're like, most of the time, say you're trying to put a gas point in the roof, and there's like a 20 mil cap on one side of the T, and you think, thank you for leaving me that. And then other times you can't even cut a branch into the galv. Yeah. When they do leave the 20 mil plug, you're just loving life. But this is one of the ones where the plug was just so seized in, I couldn't get it out. Like the seizing was harder than the actual hex on the plug. Yeah. So as I was trying to undo it, the square, because the plug's a square, was actually just peeling out, like, you know what I mean? And the thread wouldn't budge. Yeah. So I ended up having to drill the plug out, and I was in a rush, man. Like, I was in a rush.
Oh, you're a plumber.
Exactly. So I'm drilling the plug out, and the drill slipped and went straight through my hand, and basically in the webbing, and then pretty much more than halfway down my hand. So this is going way back, and I was actually going on a golf trip with the boys the 2 days after that to Queensland, and I couldn't play one game of golf because of that. I was devo. So I ended up nearly passing out because, you know, there's blood everywhere. So I've launched out the ceiling, and I've ended up in the bathroom. I had to like put my legs up on the bath so I wouldn't faint. And this Asian lady's coming in like, what do I do? How do I help? I'm just like, oh, get me some towels. So I like wrapped up the hand. Then I just had to go and do another hot water heater. So I went and hung a bloody hot water heater on the wall while I like changed over a 13p or something to a 16 bloody whatever. Anyway, got my handle fixed up. That was that part of the story. So 5 years goes past, and I get a call from the client, and they say, "Oh, Matt, we've got this job, and it's we've got this job. There's a gas. They reckon there's a gas leak. They can smell gas." I'm thinking, okay, what was I just there last week or something? I don't know. You did the job about 5 years ago. I thought, well, I'm pretty sure it would have been leaking. So I said, all right, I'll go there and I'll check it out. So I get up in the manhole, and the manhole was like say 10 meters to the gas heater. So I'm going through the roof, and I'm miles away from the manhole, and I'm spraying everything on the gas heater, and then I hear this dude like walking up behind me in the roof, and I turn around, and I'm just like, this little Asian fella. Doesn't matter that he's Asian, but he was just a little fella. And I turn around, and I'm like, what are you doing in the roof, mate? And then all of a sudden, I just hear this like this, and then as I'm looking at the dude, he just literally just disappears through the roof.
He's just
through
standing
the ceiling.
on the gyprock.
Yeah, he was literally standing on the gyprock. That was it. So I'm like, man, I've got to go and check if this guy's alright. So I've like launched over through on the roof, on the trusses, and I look down through the hole, and this dude has hit his jaw on the couch, and he's laying on the ground like this, like that, with the full winded, like can't catch his breath, and I'm like, fuck, I got to get out of this roof now. So I get out of the roof, and I run over to him, and he's literally, when a boxer gets KO'd, they can't stand up. So he is literally, I'm watching him, man. He ended up about 6 meters from the couch, but in doing so, he fell over 4 times. So he could not get him, so he could not stand up, man. And I'm like, and then all of a sudden his mum comes over, because he was pretty old himself. His mum was living with him, like the Chinese mum that they do that. And she was like trying to like, have you seen the video I got?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
You haven't seen it.
You've got a video of
He looked alright by that
yeah,
stage.
of course I had to Snapchat it. So when I knew he was alright,
he looked alright.
pulled the
We don't
phone
film
out.
all customers.
He was alright. No, he was alright. I made sure he was alright, and then I pulled the phone out and I snapped it. So I got a video of it. But he.
不能在也是那边的咯。哎呀，哎呀，从上面摔下来还得了啊？是不是坐到这地方来的呀？
He just fell through the roof, KO'd himself, and then ended up 5 meters from the couch by falling over 5 times. Yeah. And then I said to him, mate, like, you might want to get the ambos to come or something and check you out. And he's like, I don't know what happened. I've walked in roofs so many times. I'm like, nah, I don't reckon you have.
Yeah, I've never fell through a ceiling either. So weird.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Oh,
Every second week.
That was good, because that one was in Unley Park and it was a mansion.
Yeah, and it had all the lovely skirting and the centrepiece. And
Oh, that was about a 3.5 metre ceiling. You're lucky you didn't fall all the way through.
yeah, I was very
It happens
lucky.
though, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Well, yeah, I did hit my head first. So.
Was that a slip, or was that like a
No,
break in
I
the
had a
timber or
bucket.
something?
No, it was my own fault. Like I had a bucket. I was holding the bucket, and then I had a head torch on, and I looked up and started walking. And as I started walking, I didn't. There was a timber above my head. And I hit my head because my bucket was heavy. I lost my footing and tried to save the bucket. But then I tried to put the bucket on the timber, and the bucket missed. And I sort of, because I was trying to do that, my body weight shifted onto it and followed it, and that went through. Then my leg, I panicked and tried to, and I just sort of, I didn't go through, but I did enough damage.
Did the bucket go through?
No, I was holding it. Yeah, I saved it.
Yeah, as long as you saved the
And
bucket.
there was a crystal there was a lot of stuff under it that was worthy of saving. So
Yeah. You got any work accidents? Not that we want to promote work accidents, but it happens in plumbing, I suppose.
Just electrocution. Really.
Have you? How'd that go?
Pretty good. I'm still here.
Like, what was it? What
It's
happened?
just like a jolt. Climbed through a roof, literally touched.
Oh yeah, I've done that too. Yeah.
Like it wasn't even like I just put my hand in like in a puddle.
Yeah? What do
Yeah.
you mean in the roof?
But storage hottie in the roof with the safety tray, waste pipe out to the eaves.
Oh yeah.
They'd crushed. What did they do? They'd crushed electrical cable was over the top of it between that and the timber. They put like a nail through the cable.
Oh,
It was touching the waste pipe, so the whole unit was live.
really?
And the puddle, I was right over near like the eaves. Put my hand in the puddle, and just.
Really? Was
Yeah.
it a bang, or was it like
No,
a
it wasn't
tingle?
too bad. Like it was like,
Yeah.
enough. You could feel it, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh,
Don't
shit.
do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worked the rest of the day.
Did you? Oh, you don't say that. You went to the hospital.
No,
straight away.
You get your heart checked, and
Have you had a boot too?
yeah, I got a boot. I was chasing the gas pipe crawling through a roof, and yeah, like as I was crawling, and I think my elbow must have touched. Well, it did. It touched a junction box that was covered, had no lid on it. It was metal. It was just absolutely dangerous as anything. And yeah, because I couldn't see it, but as I crawled, and it should have been closed and sealed, and It was just open, lid all wires exposed, like it was a house fire waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, nice little boot, and then luckily the electrician rocked up anyway, so that was good.
Did he?
So, did
you go and get the ticket checked?
Yeah, absolutely, I did. Yep.
Oh, sounds like he did.
They did 5 ECGs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 5.
5.
Yeah, so I had to go just to a medical centre. They took one, and then they weren't happy with it.
Really?
And I started to stress out, and I was, oh God,
and
here
then
we
it
go.
starts palpitating even more.
Yeah, are you stressed?
Yeah, like then they called an ambulance. They did 2. Hospital did 1.
Yeah.
And then they had me sit there for ages, and then they did another one. Turn around, oh, your heart's really good.
All right.
Are
So
you
just
sure?
For the last 3 hours of stress.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, really weird.
You'd have a fit heart because you.
I don't know. See.
You're a good soccer player.
The goalie, they're lazy.
Yeah, it's come on, man, come on. Fittest in the team.
Tell us about soccer. How's soccer going this year?
It's all right.
Have you started playing like proper?
Yeah, so round 4 this week, tomorrow.
How you been going?
2 losses, 1 win.
Oh.
Disappointing.
What were the scores? No smashings?
Yeah.
You had a smashing?
Yeah, first game. So I played for West Adelaide.
Switch on, boys.
Yeah.
First team. First game was against Adelaide City, back-to-back champions.
Yeah.
Spanked 4-0.
Oh.
And when you in goals the whole time?
Yeah, that's how it works, Mick, at this level.
4 goals
One
and
position
pass.
per player.
Yeah, I feel like you're there.
Level.
Yeah, it's disappointing, really.
Yeah.
But to be fair, where we are at the moment versus where they sort of are and have been, 4 is probably an okay score for us, being realistic.
Good attitude, mate. Well done.
Nah, it's a difficult, like some of those players, they're training 4 or 5 times a week, where 2 with a bit of relaxation in between.
I thought just all clubs would just have the same training.
No, so it depends on the coach, the facilities, that sort of stuff. I mean, we're not as well set up as some of the other clubs, and it's just their way of doing it. If they take on, they've got a lot of ex Adelaide United youth players, so they're used to training 5 times a week. It's all managed, of course, but again, they're not winning back to back and everything in between.
Yeah.
Without.
Someone's always going to do it.
Without being where they are. So.
Yeah.
But no, it's all right. I mean, we should have won last week. No excuses, but we gave away a stupid penalty and couldn't capitalise down the other end. And
what day do you swap between Fridays and Saturdays?
Yeah, so Friday nights and Saturdays.
Where are you playing this week?
West Beach Parks.
What night? Tonight? No.
No, tomorrow, 3 o'clock.
Tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Be there.
Yeah, so when this comes out, it'll be too late.
Yeah, definitely. We might cut that bit out.
Yeah.
What about Mick? I'd like to maybe hear about some of the things that have changed over the years. You know, like notable
plumbing.
Yeah, plumbing. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, one that comes to mind for me is just like obviously the integration of all the electronic systems and stuff that you need to. You know, everyone's using now, like SimPro and you know.
Yeah, I think that's become I can use SimPro, so it's a good. It works. It's good. It saves on paper. It's quicker. Yeah, it's great.
Because when you first started, were you just doing like full paper job sheets?
No, when I started, it was construction anyway. So I didn't do paperwork. We did paper time sheets, and that's about it. Which that's probably changed with an iPad. I think they did change to an iPad when we left, but. No, I didn't do much paperwork back then, and even still, when I'd left them, they were all their purchase orders were on paper anyway. So because they're bigger construction companies. So, and then I've always had the SimPro sort of or similar. So,
okay.
A lot was changing, probably copper. So you're brazing to everything's press now. Didn't ever use press when I started, and then now. I think there's still some jobs like dip. They make you braze, but I think most people are still going down the crimp path now, and that's certainly changed. But I think that's just a skill set that people will lose now, and that will be a problem coming up.
Do our apprentices have to?
It's still part. You have to do knock-ins and all that still, but they won't. They'll do that, and they'll lose that trade because they won't be doing it regularly. I don't think they'll. So they may.
I feel like if you do it a few times, it's sort of. You sort of don't lose it. Like if you can do it, like what you were just saying about some of the contracts when I was at Ken Halls. A lot of it was I did a lot of the stuff in the
buildings.
city, like the old buildings.
Yeah, well, their drains are still copper and everything. So if you can't adapt to it, you can't. Well, imagine what the fittings cost if you can't weld or do a knock-in. And the other thing is doing live knock-ins on those buildings. That you can't cut the drain out and knock-in. You can do it because it's a multi-story state building that you can't turn off. It has to keep ticking over. So if you can do the weld and do it live, like for a drain, that's good. But otherwise, you're shutting down a whole building for.
It's a good alternate option too. Like you just said, if you can't press, the only option is to weld, but you don't know how to weld. Well,
there's always going to be stuff you need to weld, like when you get the stolen copper and they gank it straight out the wall when you just cannot possibly. You have to always weld that first 300 mil of copper in, don't you?
I'm just using benders. I reckon benders will go.
Yeah, but
shortly, they'll make something for everything. Like they'll make certain offsets and
you can already buy. They're already doing that. And you can buy the around a pipe offset. But then, there's like an offset. So if you got a pipe and you want to you normally just make an offset with your benders.
Like a 180 kind of. Yeah. So to go round a pipe that's already on the wall. So you just press either side and that's.
Yeah. But obviously that costs money.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's because
horrendous usually.
Yeah, you pretty much, they're all giving their trade away going, anyway, I can go down in Bunnings and buy this gear now. And
some of the stuff I don't particularly like using. I picked up a hottie today to put in the Riverland and they got like the press directly onto the ball valve.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, man.
So they make the press fittings.
It's like a ball valve.
It's both sides too.
Press.
Install kit.
If you ever want to take that ball valve out, or if it leaks or something, you just got.
So it's not even a union.
No disconnection on it at all.
Press either side.
Just hard press on either side.
To the unit.
About it. Yep.
Or you might.
Well, you might put it on a wall or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but either way, it's locked in.
Yeah, it's just locked in. So when they occasionally you turn them off and they just piss. They're just leaking.
Yeah.
Like you got to cut it out.
Yeah, I think Logic is starting to leave plumbing.
You can do, sometimes. Yeah. Definitely. What about interesting places most favourite places you've worked, like in regards to actual locations? Mine would be like the women's prison and the men's prison. Have you ever worked in those places?
I'm fascinated by prisons.
Right. Are you really?
Yeah, I love them. I've never been in them, but never. But I just want them like Wentworth and those shows. I reckon they're awesome.
It was unreal, man. Like one time I found a bag of whatever it was just under like a booster tap handle in the dude's cell. Yeah, and they got that was nice.
That was a little moment.
You guys in prison now? Yeah.
my brother. He does the stuff at Yatla.
Yeah.
He reckons the amount of stuff that comes out the drainage system there is...
What do you mean?
So everything gets flushed into a pit. Mm-hmm. It's pretty well septic.
Yeah.
There's 2 tanks. One
just
here,
to explore it though, really.
One down there,
It's a catchment.
It is. It's a catchment. Oranges, banana, they will flush anything.
Really?
Down the system. A lot of them will...
So they're... why would you put an orange to block it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so they're blocking it for a certain reason.
Just to cause havoc, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Or
what else do you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, you could block it and then put stuff down there knowing it won't go any further.
Yeah, that's one of them. And they'll siphon the water out the bowl and use...
Oh, that'd be nice.
Jeez, they'd be good plumbers, wouldn't they?
And use pass a note to someone.
They use the sewer system as like a channel system to each.
You'd want to be upstream, wouldn't you? You wouldn't want to be down the bottom and you couldn't send anything up.
Nah, you would. You would. In the Yatla, they got you used to open like the cupboard, and it would have like this copper stack in it, and they'd actually get a radio with like a remote little speaker, and they'd jam the little speaker into the IP and just have it on like. So they can't talk to each other.
So
it's just permanently on white noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
You know what I mean? Because
setting it up,
you can bloody talk to someone from a kilometre away in a drain. Like, hello. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's.
Geez, you wouldn't want to do it. Like sometimes you wouldn't want to be having.
No.
What's that coming? Boom.
Yeah, you can just
break up your conversation with it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, what about you guys? Interesting places then?
Not really, no. The furthest I've gone is probably the barracks, the police barracks.
Oh yeah, I've done. That was good.
We were there together.
That was a cool job. Yeah, just watching them come in and out.
And some of this, that sort of, we obviously can't say too much, but
top secret.
So, the area, the area that we worked is pretty cool.
I'd have to kill you if I told you.
Well, actually, you specifically went into areas you weren't. So.
Hey.
Not on purpose, all by accident, looking for a manager.
It shouldn't be that easy though, should it?
It shouldn't.
It was a test.
What's the story behind that?
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
Go
on. You're talking about the gun safe one, or?
Yeah, that, and you went upstairs to and they were running up.
Oh yeah. That was her fault. She shouldn't leave her door open.
Yeah.
Open door policy or closed door policy.
Yeah.
She wanted to say no, it's closed, but.
Whose office was it?
Oh, there was like they got so they were the state coppers, and they do like different operations. Might be trafficking, or might be whatever they take, bikie gangs or something. But I don't even know what they were doing at the time. But she was obviously very secretive about it, and I'm pretty sure it's on Facebook, by the way. Like I googled everything that she was talking about, and it's all for everyone to see. But she thought it was very secretive.
Okay.
All I was telling her was I was turning the water off.
Yeah.
And then I turned the water off, and she complained that no one had told her. So I tried to. You kicked me out. So,
they kicked you out?
No, I wasn't allowed in there.
Curtain shut, door closed,
okay.
that sort of stuff. But,
Gotcha.
Yes.
I mean, that's what we were looking at. That came out in the news. It was like a year after, and with every bit of information.
Well, that's. I mean, it's not very secretive stuff.
Not like you go tell anyone.
But anyway, I get she's got her protocols.
Yeah.
So that was,
I think the door's part of her closing it is her protocol as well, which she didn't do. So maybe start there.
Yeah, start there.
That's probably as far as interesting places goes for me.
Yeah, back to Adelaide Oval, but my favourite one. That's about.
How many people would have been like on site at one time? You reckon?
Well, we had 75 plumbers.
75 plumbers.
Plumbers, not just plumbers. So, and then I reckon the Sparkies would have been similar, and then there was landscapers, irrigation guys, pump guys, ducties, every single trade, welders, crane, the amount of cranes that were on the site.
Do you remember
it was a busy site.
Do you remember how they there was just absolute disgust that they were going to build it? Like everyone was against it, or so many people were against it. Yeah. And it was, now you look at it. Imagine if we didn't have it. Yeah. Like, do you remember the outrage against it?
Yeah, and
was crazy, the heritage that they didn't want to.
Yeah.
Which they kept the scoreboard, which is, I mean, now they say nothing but great things about it.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if we didn't have it now, and you still had to go to Westlakes to watch the footy.
Yeah, I know.
You take it for granted, but heaps of people didn't
cricket
want it.
as well. Everything, the concerts.
You would have gone to Ed Sheeran?
No, but I would.
Did you go? No.
I didn't even know it was coming.
What are you into? What sort of music?
Yeah, that sort of stuff. Not so much anymore.
Like pop? No, what sort of music do you like?
I like country.
Yeah, country's killer. Have you listened to the new Morgan album?
You don't like it? But what do you find, like, when you start listening to an artist, the stuff that you first start listening to, I can't stray away from that. Like, I've tried to listen to his new shit.
Who?
Morgan Wallen. Are you into country or no?
Yeah, I am actually.
Morgan Wallen, man, the best. Yeah. I love his new album, 36 songs.
It's good. It is good, but I can't go away from his old stuff.
What are you talking, like his old stuff, like whiskey glasses?
Yeah, that sort of shit.
Yeah, I know that shit. What about you, Mick? What are you into?
I don't mind country as well. But I like everything. I just don't like probably like heavy rap and then like sort of.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm pretty much open for anything, like everything and anything. Yeah. Like Metallica to country to
same. I'm like that.
To whatever.
Variety.
Variety, but everything's good. But everything came in good. You can't listen to just country because then how boring would that be?
Yeah, I love mixing it up, man.
I do techno, I don't mind that. And
I love drum and bass.
Drum and bass, like Skits Mix. Bring back Skits Mix.
Skits Mix 705.
I've been looking for a song when I was 16 for like, I don't know, 10 years now. I just can't find it. It's just like an old...
Wait, is it Skits Mix?
Yeah, it was Skits Mix. It was a mashup.
Yeah,
I know. I've realised. So I haven't found it yet. I sit on Spotify and just go through and...
That's literally what he does after work every night, and he's like trying to find his long lost dad or something, and it's like his song.
It's a really good song.
Someone might watch this and know it. So can you just do a little
I
bit
don't
of
know
it?
how I could do it
Come
without
on.
completely.
Give us a loop. Give us a loop. Go on.
Try.
Go on.
It was like an older song. I can't even describe it. This one found it. I'm not gonna do it. Nah. Moving on.
Yeah, drunk. All right, well, listen, we've got to wrap it up. But what?
Hey?
You want to keep going? We can keep going for as long as you want. Well, you ask us something. I'm the one coming up with all the questions.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's go.
Why
do you want to go out on your own?
Why did I want to?
Okay, let's go back another. Where did it all start for you?
Okay. I'm glad someone asked me or something.
Let's hear about Matt. Let's hear about Matt.
I just was a really bad student, man. Like, I was shocking. I'm lucky to be alive. Probably like everyone. Like, I was doing some stupid shit when I was.
Give us a story.
16. Oh, just like mostly just going around in cars like crazy and you know.
Guilty.
And you do things. You look back and you think, I literally probably should have died a few times.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't very good at school. And like, man, I don't have a great story. Just my mum works at a school, so she just put me in touch with a counsellor. Like, not the counsellor, like this. You know, the school have like the careers counsellor.
SSC or something.
Yeah, it's like careers counsellor. And she just hooked me up with an interview with TAPS, and they gave me a job, and I started my work experience, and I got a job with Wayne Bennett's, who became the head SA water inspector. So he was like, unknowingly, he was sort of like half looking at wrapping up his business. And so I only worked there for about 8 months. Then Wayne actually just shut his business down, sort of like retired from business, and then went to be the SA water inspector and worked his way up to be like head of SA water inspecting. Yeah, that's how I got into it, really.
How old were you then?
Man, I started when I was 6. Put it this way, I finished my apprenticeship about maybe like 3 weeks before I turned 21. So like, you know, I was 16.
Pretty young.
Toward nearly 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the best time, man. You know, did you guys? It was a loaded question, but did you like trade school? Because school, man. Did you like it?
Yeah, I did like practical parts of it.
Go?
I did mine at a little bit Tonsley, a little bit Regency. So they were in the Tonsley was getting built, I think, and then at the end of my apprenticeship. So I did
Where
some
did you do yours?
down there.
Purely Regency.
Regency, yeah.
You would have been Tonsley, wouldn't you?
Regency is a shithole.
Yeah.
Yeah, compared to Tonsley.
I've never seen Tonsley.
Oh, it is world class. Like,
is it?
So it was built for pretty much everything. It's gonna.
Yeah.
The plan is, I think, for them to just run everything out of there. Like, it's headquarters. One of the customers the other day, he works for TAFE he's at Tonsley. He was sort of giving me a bit of a spiel on it.
Yeah.
Insane. Like the plumbing sector of thing. Like 2 sand pits. Everything's ready to go. The only thing I didn't like about trade school is everything's like pre-cut.
Yeah. Of course, because
waste and that sort of stuff. But
but that almost suits the modern day plumber, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
that's the way they're going.
Yeah. You know, so you lost a little bit of the technical side of stuff.
But you know, at the end of the day, like, you just learn everything on the tools, don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Given the opportunity, yeah.
Were you just like because I was just on the piss flat out, like going out to the Arca bar and stuff with the boys. You doing a bit of that, or?
No, so I was mature age, so I was mature.
Oh, yeah.
I was hanging around 16-year-olds. I didn't want to be there.
And then I had a different vibe with you.
Yeah, well, I was on the lecturer's side. Like, I'm like, shut up. Like, I'm here to make money. Like,
yeah, it's a different vibe, eh?
Yeah, and I just sit up the back with the lecturers who'd smoke 40 packs a day and just be like puffing away. And I get why they smoke too, because they're dickheads. But it was. I didn't really like the young ones. Yeah, they were a bit shit for me. That ruined it for me, I reckon.
You saying smokers are dickheads?
No, they're smokers with the lecturers.
Because I reckon I've seen you flog a few darts.
Back
in the day, not anymore though.
No.
How's that going, by the way? Different subject. Like,
fine.
Dude.
Nah.
Because I met a dude the other day. He's a well-known building inspector, and I was chatting to him, and he was saying he used to smoke darts. And he had the total opposite of what most people say. He was like, I just love the smell of darts.
Yeah, I get that, yeah.
Do you love the smell? Because some people get totally turned off by it.
So I hate the smell of my, if you have one and then it's on you, you smell it, your fingers stink. I hate that. But if I walk past a pub or somewhere where you associate smoking with generally, well, that's when I'm like, that smells all right. Like, but it's more the association with like having a beer and a smoke, or
it's
the social side.
It's the social side of it. That's why it's in your, like, it's nicotine in your brain going, nah, I want you to have it, but nah, you don't.
Yeah.
And then you wake up the next morning and you're like, oh, I feel like an ashtray, and you regret it instantly. But
definitely.
nah, I'm fine. Like when I got married, I had a couple, but I woke up the next day and I did not want any more.
Yeah,
it was all good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
you weren't punching them like flat out that night, but you just had a few.
Nah, I had a couple of vapes and stuff, but I don't rate the vape either.
Nah,
they're too sweet.
They're just too
gross. Yeah.
right up the back of your throat.
But sort of I like that you don't stink.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah,
like.
True.
Do you get headaches?
Nah.
Just me.
Cool. Just you, yeah.
It's good.
From vapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know whether it's when I was smoking them, it was not until after, like, I'd go a couple of days without it. Just headaches, like, just
like coming off it, I think, isn't it?
Weird.
Yeah, I don't understand the vape.
Can you smoke
fascination.
vapes like in town, like
outside?
Yeah.
or are they classed as cigarettes?
No, you're not allowed to smoke in there. Classes as a cigarette. You can't smoke it inside, technically.
Yeah. Because I was at some pub the other. I think it was the birthday at the what's the one on O'Connell opposite the Adelaide, the Cathedral.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And like the whole gutter on the balcony is like 500 vapes. You know how like you
empty
look over the
ones.
gutter and you can and you look over the balcony, you're looking into the gutter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Just vape city, man.
That lasts forever too. Imagine like.
Yeah.
Obviously,
So they must be smoking them up there, like just maybe on the sly or something.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely people do.
I don't think you can smoke a dart on a balcony.
Nah, but that's the good thing about a vape, I suppose, is you can get away with, as long as you don't see it. Like, it's a little bit sweet, but you
can't smell it.
You can almost it smells like perfume sometimes. Like, it's just so sweet. Like,
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up. But I want to ask one question, totally unrelated to plumbing, because I just thought of it then. Where's your favourite place you've ever been in the world?
In the world,
and why?
Oh.
You would have been to a
that's
to
a
a
hard
few
question.
places.
I've been to a few. I don't know. In the
Can
world,
you start by listing off where you've been? Because I always think that's interesting to know.
So I've obviously been everywhere in Australia, except for sort of top of WA, and then I've done Thailand, Bali, done Thailand, Bali, Rome, Amsterdam, Italy. I did Dubai, Afghanistan. That's a good one. Brunei.
Brutal.
Yeah, Dubai is pretty cool. That's a nice place.
Yeah.
It's like a nice place, but it's not. I don't love the culture there, but it's pretty cool. Heaps to see, and like awesome. Heaps of Guinness Book of Records, and I can sit at Dubai and watch the cars go past.
Yeah,
just watch like European cars, American cars. Like, it's cool because it's the dead center of the world essentially, like, with everyone that's there. So that was cool. But I love Thailand. It was real cool. Yeah. Thailand's. I think it's way better than Bali. I love Thailand. Yeah. It's probably up there.
What about
Amsterdam
you, mate?
was awesome.
Jacko, you're up.
I've only been to Bali, England, and
Did you forget
Denmark.
England?
Yeah, I forgot a few.
Denmark was pretty cool. Denmark.
Denmark. How old were you when you went there?
18, 19.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Can you drink when you're there, 18 and 19 there, or do you have to be 21?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Got
They
sauce.
drink at the dinner table when they're 6,
Yeah,
don't they?
yeah. It was right as it was about to snow. Didn't see any snow, but just the setup, everything was like middle of winter was it was really good. I don't know about everyone's a little bit out there.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they all tall?
No, and they're not as blonde as you think either.
No.
Like,
Isn't Denmark where there's a lot of potential incest? Is that Denmark?
There's a bit of
Oh, is that Iceland, wasn't it? Yeah. They've got some app that they all have to go on there to make sure they're not related.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
kidding me.
Yeah,
Really?
no, I'm not kidding you.
Where's
I think,
that?
it's somewhere
Iceland.
like, maybe it's Iceland where it's a bit
Yeah,
small,
well.
and they're all blonde. And that's so they all look the same or something. But, yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Is this incest.com.au? I mean, it would be
I've never been there.
Iceland, I suppose.
Yeah. And then,
What other ones did you forget about then?
I forgot about Singapore. That was a cool one. There's a couple others I forgot already.
Well, England was one.
No, it wasn't England. Malaysia. That was cool. Yeah.
You've been there?
Yeah, Malaysia was nice. Yep.
Did it rain flat out?
No, but I was living in Darwin at the time, so it's very similar to like tropical weather. So it's like very much like that Asian sort of weather, like humidity and piss down with rain, and then sun comes out and humidity rises. And
because you know when you like used to when they used to race the F1 in Malaysia, and like
I was there once
time it would rain, without a doubt. And they say like at 4 o'clock in the Arvo,
that's the same
it just
Darwin.
like rains.
Well, Darwin every day. I used to like in half the year, I'd pretty much walk to my car at say 4 o'clock. And you look up and it's all right. And then by the time you got your car, which is a 2-minute walk, it absolutely bucketed down. You'd open your car, you get in and it stopped raining. And you're like, again. Every day you get, So that was on the clockwork.
Yeah, wicked.
Where you been?
Me? I've been around a bit. I have to do in order. It's the easiest way of like my youngest to oldest trips, I reckon. So been on a couple of cruises into just like Pacific Islands and that. Then I went to Thailand, so I've been to Bangkok, Phuket, Bali, Monaco, Singapore, Japan, China. I've been to a fair few places. I don't want to list them off and sound like probably my favourite, without just like straight off the bat, would just be Japan.
I want to do Japan.
Japan is just elite, man. Like,
Nate's just come back. He said the same thing.
Everything about it is like. I've been to some wicked places.
Did you do a snow trip?
Nah.
So
I went there for the Grand Prix, so it was stinking hot.
So you've done a few international Grand Prix then?
Yeah, I've been to Monaco, Singapore, Japan, Spain. Monaco, Singapore, Japan,
You've
Spain,
done Melbourne.
and Melbourne. I think that's the 5 Grand Prix I've been to.
Lucky man.
Yeah,
well travelled.
Yeah, I took my 10-month-old. I took Ari to Monaco actually. That was pretty.
He would have loved it.
Yeah, he can't. Unfortunately, he can't remember a thing about it. But Monaco is pretty insane. But yeah, just Japan, man. I mean, like the other places that are, like Italy and that is wicked. Like I've been to Lake Como, which was pretty elite. But Japan is just something about it, man.
So I thought Rome was overrated.
Rome's pretty. Yeah. Rome, you just feel like someone's gonna try and rip your money out your pocket.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
There's a lot of like beggars and that all over Rome.
Or even the guys like there's a gladiator at the cathedral. He ripped us off.
Yeah.
And they like, oh, can I take a photo for you? Like, because I was taking a photo of Jess. Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, grabs a camera and took a photo of us. Oh, do you want me to jump in? Because he was wearing like a gladiator get up. I was like, yeah, sure, that'd be great. Thanks, mate. Put an arm around him. No worries, mate. Thanks, mate. It'll be $40. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And that's $80, by the way. Like, if you do the conversion, I'm like, you got to be joking.
Yeah,
like,
they get you.
And like, he did not let us leave. Like, he was making the scene and stuff. I'm like, mate, you offered. Like, nah. And then all the other tourists come out. Yeah, just got us too. Like,
God. I got stories like that in Madison Square Garden when I was in New York. The first time I went there with my mates, and 21 years old. No, I was like 23. So I just had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
And we were staying right opposite Madison Square Garden. There was an ice hockey game on, the Rangers versus someone.
Yeah, I want to do that.
That would be sick. Yeah. Go and see an ice hockey game.
Baseball as well.
Baseball.
Gridiron.
We went there and...
Gridiron.
What was it called? NRL?
NFL? Yeah. Like we went down there. We didn't have tickets, and we got down to roughly out the front of Madison Square Garden, and a African American fella comes up and he's like, "Oh, I got like, you guys want tickets?" And he was all sketchy, and we're like, "Yeah, mate, yeah, we want tickets." Like, we had no idea.
Where have you been my whole life?
Seriously, it was like deer in headlights, and yeah, exactly. And then he gave us the 3 tickets, and. We couldn't get the money out quick enough for him. He was just like, "Come on, mate, give me. I need the money. Come on, boys." And we didn't even click on like something probably isn't right here. He was like pressuring us that hard, like almost putting his hand in the pocket, like, "Come on, boys, need the money right now. Come on, you get the money." And anyway, we give him the money, take the tickets. Didn't know anything better. We walked like literally 50 meters up to the counter to get him scanned. She saw him from about 5 meters away. She's like, "They're fake." We're like, "You're joking." We just got stoos like 200 each. And then she saw it, mate, before we even got there. She's like, "They're fake." And we're just like, no. And then everything adds up in the back, like when you look back. And then we ended up just watching it was weird because we were so close to Madison Square Garden. We were watching the ice hockey game on the TV. And every time they did like a, because it must have been open. Yeah, it must have been. Or they must have been where they had like the chopper shots of
You could see you.
and I could see the chopper out of the window, and I was like watching the chopper shot on TV, and I'm just like, you're the biggest idiot. Like, everything, you know, how it's so obvious looking back, and you're like, how could I have been that dumb?
He just wanted these
still did
tickets.
it.
Trusting people.
But anyway, listen, we've got to go. It's probably around about 4 o'clock now, and Luke has to cut this podcast. It's going to take him a long time.
Good luck.
Thanks for joining me, boys.
There'll be nothing left of it.
Thanks for tuning in to another Plumify podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and all the usual podcast platforms.